Oh, it just did it! It just did it! So guys, let me know what you think about this this diagnostic slash triagnostic slash hypothesis of a diag to hammer down and narrow down rather an intermittent speed sensor fault. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button while you're down there. And most importantly, do not forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later in a video in a GMC Sierra Silverado end of speedometer hypothesis. Oh, it just did it! It just did it! Oh no, I just felt. Oh, look, there it is. There it is, that's it. I just felt it. I felt the ABS pump going off, and we can see it on the graph. Unbelievable. Happening, Z Hood. This thing is just loaded with it. It's a circular cheetah. Pink key, red Silverado. Check it out. Actually, that's a Sierra, not a Silverado. Same thing. We got dueling GMT 800s here, 2500s and 3500s. The red one over yonder, that was here not long ago. And I did park them next to my truck because it did look super pretty. But this one was here not long ago. I had put a set of fuel injectors in it because it had horribly inaccurate balance rates and didn't run very well. Made a knocking noise at idle and under light load, and it is back. But it's not back for any kind of drivability issue. It is back because the customer states that occasionally while driving, the speedometer becomes erratic and does not function as it should at approximately 310,277 miles on the odometer. Yeah, she's up there a little bit, a little past 250,000. So I've got the scanner tool with me right here. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna try to streamline this diag as quickly as possible. We're gonna connect to the control modules in this truck. I'm gonna check for some codes, and we're gonna go drive this because I would like to watch the wheel speed sensor. We've got a couple of possibilities for, put the windows down, it's hot in here. Couple of possibilities that could be causing an erratic speedometer. We either have a bad connection, bad wire, bad control module, or bad sending unit, which would be the speed sensor. Most of these vehicles are gonna have 4 speed sensors for the ABS module. There's a left front, right rear, and a left rear. So what we want to do, we have no warning indicators to start with. Let's say that. Now, the customer had mentioned that when the speedometer is not accurate or erratic or bouncing around, they were getting a ABS or track control warning light. Let me do a self-test real quick on the lights. What we do is we key it on till everybody powers up. We can see this truck is equipped with an ABS light. I don't think it has track control. Self-test. No, just an ABS light. So I'm assuming the ABS light is the one that's coming on. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull this thing up. 2006 GMC. We're going to scroll down to Sierra. It's a K truck. It's a 4-wheel drive Sierra. Let's get some cooling action here. And this thing has the LBZ66 Duramax. That's going to be VIN code D for Delta. It's the LBZ version. 66, blah, 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 looking good. Oh, okay. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go down into anti-lock brake control module. That's the ABS pump and the control unit. And we're gonna look for some trouble codes real quick. Let's see what we get. Current codes. We have no codes present currently. Okay. So that means that the control module no longer is recognizing the fault that the customer had stated. And over here in history, we got somewhere C0055 rear wheel speed sensor circuit fault. So it's detecting a fault with the circuit for the rear speed sensor. I'm wondering why it did not designate like a left or a right. Let's pull up data real quick. Let's find those sensors. ABS data. Collecting data. Go into our PID list, not our graph list. Okay, track control equipped, no. VSES equipped, no. Scrolling down, left front wheel speed sensor. This is in miles per hour. These are imperial units. Right front speed sensor, it's saying that we're 3 even though we're not moving. That's kind of common. As long as they're all the same, that's acceptable. Usually these things say 1, but that's not really an error. I don't know why programming logic gives you a value of motion when you're not in motion, because clearly we're not in motion, but it says we're going 3 miles per hour. That may just be a calibration inaccuracy. Regardless, what we're looking at here, left front speed sensor, right front speed sensor, and rear wheel speed sensor. This is an interesting build out. Like I said, normally you're gonna have 4 speed sensors, 1 for each individual wheel. But in this case, it looks like there is only 1 sensor on the axle, or potentially it could be using the sensor. I don't know if it's on the transmission or on the transfer case, but somewhere in the drive line, there would be a sensor. So here's what I wanna do. We're gonna go for a test drive, and we're going to leave these PIDs pulled up, but we're going to graph them on a 4-graph bar. So if we take a look, the top of the graph, left front, right front, and then rear wheel speed. So what we're going to do, we're going to drive this, and we're going to watch these graphs. Now you see how the lines are ticking over time? As we drive the vehicle, this graph is going to reflect the individual wheel speed measurements, and that graph will come up and go down and up and down. It's going to follow the speed of the vehicle, and it will scale as we reach different thresholds in speed. Point being, what this is going to allow us to do is visually look at the signals received by the control module from the sensors, and then we can determine if one of them is grossly inaccurate or not. Now, we may see slight inaccuracies in this depending on if we're turning or if we actually have a wheel slip event or things of that nature, but for the most part, we're looking for a drastic change in that graph's behavior, particularly on the rear wheel speed sensor circuit. So click it or ticket, we're buckled in. Let's go ahead and pull this thing out and get it out on the road. We're probably going to just head up and over the bridge there, get some speed going. That'll give us plenty of chance or opportunity to observe these graphs. And if we see one that is dropping out, we have a confirmed direction to go off of. And I'm hoping we do. Like I said, the customer had stated this is a very intermittent problem, meaning the problem is not always present. Those are the hardest ones to locate sometimes, because if you can't see the problem or identify the problem, how can you diagnose the problem? So sometimes we may have to generate a hypothesis or an educated guess in order to find a solution, or at least a path to find more solutions. So we're riding along. That was weird. The left front did this this spiky business here. Now I was turning, that could have been it, but let's try to recreate that. What I'm gonna do is pull forward while we're doing it, do a hard 90-degree turn while rolling, and we're watching. I've come to a stop after the 90 degrees. That was very strange. Look, the only thing that picked up motion was the right front. The left front didn't notice anything, and then the rear was also flatlined. That's kind of odd. Let's turn this thing hard to the right, and we're gonna creep over to another 90 degrees. We're looking for activity on that circuit. I must not have been traveling fast enough. Let's try to get on the road here, pulling forward. Let's get some speed. There we go, now they're picking up. Parking lot speed was too slow for the graph to pick up my actions. Anyway, so we're out on the road, we're moving along about 26 miles per hour, and all 3 wheel speed sensors are indicating the correct speed of travel for the most part. Little blurb on that left front, but that's not really what we're trying to find. We're looking for jagged edges here, not smooth peaks and valleys. A little speed. The speedometer is maintaining accuracy from what I see. It's not dropping out. Let's get going a little faster here. About 3/4 throttle, decent pull coming up over the bridge. Hello, shop. And taking a look, our graphs here are, we're not showing any erratic speed activity. See that? And my speedometer also has not displayed any erratic activity. Yeah, it's pretty smooth right now. So the problem, the intermittent problem, is remaining elusive. So I'm gonna head back to the shop. We're gonna continue to monitor this graph on my return trip. We wanna see something crazy that correlates with a dropout on our speedometer. If it shows up, we're gonna record it. I don't think it's going to, but you never know. So let's head back to the shop. If we maintain inconclusive results regarding these graphs, we're gonna go down below and do a visual inspection of the circuitry. Okay, we're mildly accelerating, coming up over some railroad tracks. Let's see if the graph shows anything here. No. We saw the dip in speed as I let off the throttle over the tracks, and the jostling and bumping did not affect the speedometer or the graph. So back to the shop, we need to visually inspect this unit. Check that out. A little bit of steering plate, 300,000 miles. Graphs are still looking good. Speedometer is still functioning. We have inconclusive results. All righty, we're pulling back into the yard here. The entire test drive has shown no faults present. I have not seen an ABS light pop up, no warning chime, and our graphs of the wheel speeds have performed flawlessly. So let's get this thing nuzzled in to the big rack on the left here, and we're gonna go ahead and lift it up and take a gander down below. Squeeze it on in. And powering down. For now, we'll be back. Let's grab this and put it here so we can reach it later. Okie dokes, the rack is set up. Let's go ahead, green subscribe button. That's for all you new people here who do not want to miss out on future content. We're gonna run this thing up some to a comfortable inspection height. Go down below and see what we can see down there. I see a FabTech lift kit. We have that. Okay. Bring her down on the locks for safety. I'm gonna go down there with my rolly chair. I hate leveling these lifts out. These Atlas Chinesium lifts are not the greatest. And you guys keep telling me to call the lift guys out and have them fix it. It's like you can't fix a subpar piece of machinery, and I don't own the lift. The building owns the lift, but when I have my own building that's 12,000 square feet, then I'll own my own lifts, and they won't be these kinds. It'll be different kinds. So, I get it. I know. I feel the same thing, but I am powerless to do anything about it. Anyway, let's fetch the rolly chair. We're going to go down below, take a look, and see what we can see out back at the speed sensor circuit. Okie dokes. Let's find... We're looking for rear wheel speed sensors. So I do not think that there is, or are rather, any wheel speed sensors on the axle itself. Usually you'll find them over here right at the wheel bearing, and on some 3-circuit systems you'll find the speed sensor is in the differential housing. Ford likes to do that, where they'll put a tone ring on the ring gear inside of the diff, and then they'll put the sensor there somewhere. But back here, all we seem to have is some brake lines, parking brake, and a vent tube. So we have no speed sensor circuits back here on the axle. Let's move it on forward. We'll just follow the shaft. And I think perhaps this right here is the winner. Whoa, gravity. I think that's the winner right there. That guy should be the output speed sensor for the, what is that? That broke? For the transfer case. So basically all of the final drive activity is going to take place right through this section here, and it makes sense to put the speed sensor right here in the transfer case. That little guy came apart. I don't think that's the problem. It could be a problem, but it's not like the problem. And I can't put it back together either. Oh, you know what? Look, I found something. There's fluid in there. There's a little bit of oil. I just saw it. I wonder if we've got a failing sensor. I mean, that makes the most sense. We are here to conduct a hypothesis. Yeah, a little bit of oil in there. Kind of saturated around this area too. Tell you what, we'll leave that there for now. Let's go ahead and inspect the circuitry here. We're not going to make a mountain out of a molehill. So the wires look good. See no damage, no rats ate a hole in it. All the wire loom / convolutes in good shape. Moving forward on that same harness. Yeah, that all looks okay, nothing crazy. Harness still looks good. Why is there transmission fluid or oil on this wiring harness? An oil leak somewhere. Up front, power steering maybe? Okay. Well, here's what I want to do. Since we have inconclusive results, let's try to make some conclusive results. What I'm going to do here is we're going to plug that sensor back in. I think I'm going to go up top, put this thing in gear, run it while first, second gear or whatever, observe the PID on the scan tool, and while everything's chooching and turning, doing its thing, we're going to wiggle this sensor element around, and we're going to kind of bang on it some to see if we can't elicit a change. So let's get back up top, fire this thing up, put it in gear, get the wheels turning, get everything in motion, and then see if we can't observe our failure. So I'm going to start this setup with that sensor disconnected. That way we can see what happens when the failure occurs, or a failure occurs, because it will give us warning indicators and it will give us a chime, and then it'll set a hard DTC. So let's do it while she's running to see what she does. All right, let's hop in here and fire this thing up. What we're gonna do, starting the engine. It's weird starting engines way high up in the air. Hey, is everybody clear of that rear axle? Yeah. No one's there? Just checking. Safety. So we're gonna put her in drive. It's selected too high. We're not in four-wheel drive mode, okay? So what we do, we get our wheels turning there. Hey Lauren, are both wheels turning? All right, so I'm feeling this jittery action back there, and I think that the wheels are going into posi track mode. Or it's got a limited slip back there, and I think we're right at this speed where it can't decide if it wants to engage or disengage. Now, we can see here, we have no speedometer action. And if we take a look back at the data, I just lost it. Bear with me, folks, sorry, terrible. If we go back, look at the data, under wheel speeds, we have no wheel speed registered for the rears because I have the thing disconnected. So we're gonna put the brakes on, stopping the wheel, braking, braking, braking. There we go. We're gonna click her in neutral. I'm gonna put this thing in, let's just go 4 high. Okay, transfer case just clicked over. I felt it. We are in drive. So now I let off the brakes. We got front wheels and rear wheels, okay? So, look at here. If we go back to our graphs, we can see our left front wheel is showing wheel speed activity. Right front wheel is sometimes showing activity, but we don't know if it's actually turning. Rear wheel speed is nothing. So, now that we've got everybody spinning and chooching, let's climb on out, go down below, and then observe while comparing against scan tool data. Okay, so according to our graph right now, left front wheel is not doing anything, which it's not. The right front wheel, that's going 8 miles per hour, and if we take a look she's over there spinning and spinning and spinning, no problem. Now that is because the front differential on this is an open differential. There's no locker on it. So we've just got one side running away. The other side is just hanging out. Not a huge deal. The rear, it is engaging in limited slip action, but it can't decide which one it wants to bias. So that's why we're getting this left and right action here. It does not matter with regards to the rear wheel speed sensor because that's up front in the transfer case. Does that make sense? So again, taking a look at our wheel speed on the rear, we are showing 0 because it's unplugged. Now, curiously enough, it's not, it didn't give me an ABS warning indicator. That could be because it's in 4-wheel drive and that feature is turned off, or it could be for another reason. I have yet to determine that. So here, what we're gonna do, we'll stick this guy in here. I know it's upside down, but we should still be able to see it. I'm not gonna get my head and fingers and stuff stuck in the drive shaft. Fear not. What we do, reach over here. I'm gonna plug it in. And hey, looky here. Rear wheel speed is not even registering. See that? There's nothing. Right front, 8 miles per hour. The rear's 0. It's not doing anything productive. Here, let's give it the wiggle test. Nada. Nada. Nothing happening. See that? Nothing. All right. Tell you what. Let's order a sensor, toss the sensor in there, and then try this little experiment again and see if we can get some wheel speed sensor activity out of it now. Maybe I broke it just kind of looking at it, but it is not functioning at this time. So I'm gonna reach up, we're gonna shut her down, order a sensor, pop a new one in. Raw. There we go. Powering down. My wheels keep spinning every time it stops. There we go. Now I reach in, throw it in park, key it off all the way. Let's go get some parts ordered, guys, and we'll get to work down here. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, I return, and I have with me a new speed sensor. This is the transfer case speed sensor. One in question. Let's go ahead and dump it out. No? You got, no, come, seriously, hang on, no. I thought we were done with this. Look at here, look at that. Open bag, see it? Open bag. It's got fluid and oil on the sensor. Yeah, look at that, there's oil on it, so this has been installed. And on top of that, there's sand and dirt and dust, road grime, wear and debris. This is a used sensor, look. All the sealant is off the threads. It's been installed, removed, and then put back in. So somebody needed one of these, and they sent their old part back, put it in the box, and then returned it because people are lying, thieving, criminal scumbags. And yeah, I said that before. I made a whole video series about scumbag people returning parts to the parts stores, and then the parts store guys not noticing or catching it, and then they accept the returns. I'll leave a link to that video down in this video's description and right here. But yeah, that's another one. And don't tell me I need to get a new parts supplier because I bought this from a different parts supplier. I have multiple and it's the same thing. So the last time, on the last video, when I was again attacking people for being scumbag larcenists, that was one supplier. This is another one. So that comment and the comment generator section down below is no longer valid. This is a whole nother one. This is an industry-wide problem. This is a problem because I needed this sensor now.
Not tomorrow, not after breakfast, now.
Now! Unbelievable. I'm so tired of this. I should have been an astronaut. Did you need something, darling?
No. I just like to watch you.
Yeah? Well, yeah, I'm mad now. Anyway, oh, hang on. I gotta prove it because they're gonna be like, oh, you're faking this content. Here, hang on. We're not even gonna cut the scene. Watch this. We're gonna prove it. Come over. We still have the box. It's still in frame. Look, there it is. There's the new one, the new used one, and look, the old one is still there. It's right there. See it? I did not fake this. Didn't happen. That's not the way this went down. Not fake content. Sorry. There's enough real content out there where I don't have to fake content. So anyway, Lauren, will you order another one of these since I guess you caught my rant there just a minute ago. This is wrong because it's used again because people suck. Not everybody, but the larcenists and the thieves and the scumbags and the losers and the criminals. They suck.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're staring at me like, oh, what's Ray gonna do next? What's he gonna do?
What do I say? Do I look away?
What do I do with my hands? Where do I put my hands? There. We get one of those coming. I'm gonna pull this one out and hopefully we get an actual part this time. That should be fun. Okay, so I need 19 millimeter, says my ichrometer. Unbelievable, man. I mean, I get it, guys. The economy's not so great. I get it. It's hard to buy things. It's even harder to buy things for your vehicles. I get it, but we can't do this. I mean, if I'm experiencing this level of this problem between 4 or 5 of my retail stores, can you imagine how bad this problem is on a national level? I mean, we complain about, you know, our prices of our food and our consumables and everything else we buy all the way up to our housing. And yet this kind of behavior is tolerated in our society all of a sudden. And that is a major problem. We need to stop doing this as a collective because we will collapse economically over time if this keeps going. Because all this is doing is hurting everyone. And then it costs us all money. Even the people that decided they were gonna save $26 by ripping off the parts store and packaging their old part, they're gonna pay for this. Like, one way or the other, nothing is free. You will pay. Whether it's in this lifetime or the next, you will pay. But most likely you're gonna pay in this lifetime because everybody has to charge more money. So now I'm paying for you, and the guy next door is paying for you, and Dave over there, he's paying for you, and you're not doing anything except sucking away and leeching off the backs of other people.
Yeah, they were pretty upset.
They should be.
The parts place is pretty upset.
They should be. This is bullcrap.
They should check before they get a part back from a customer.
I get it. I mean, well, regardless of whether it's idiocracy or thievery or a combination of both, this is a major problem, and it needs to stop. Like, we can't be doing this.
Okay, I gotta go.
Is the new one on the way?
The new one's on the way, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. See you later.
Okay,
Bye. One parts store delivery later, and we are looking at a new replacement sensor. That one's going to fit. So there's the O-ring. We have a seal. We don't have sealant on this one, but we do have a seal. So we're just going to go with that. You screw that guy in, plug it in, screw it down. There we go. What do I do with my hands? I lost my wrench. There it is. The ladder wrench. Now, what we do not need to do is torque the bejesus out of this and break the sensor because it is just plastic, right? So we're basically going to tighten it down. It's kind of like an oil filter cap where we tighten it until it stops and then just give it that little oomph extra right there. So now, we're plugged in. There we go. The click says all. Let's go back up top, fire this thing up, put it in drive again, get the wheels a turning, and then see, well, actually I don't expect to see the fault occur, but I would like to see wheel speed sensor action out of the rear of this thing. So let's go try that. Moving back up. Let's get you in there. There we go. Climbing. Sailboat rules. One hand for yourself and one for the boat at all times. That means you don't put yourself in position where you're gonna fall overboard and hurt yourself, because that's how we break rule number 1. And what is rule number 1? Don't die at work. Beginning engine restarting sequence now. Let's get some AC going in here with the windows down. Combo cooling. Okay, scan tool's coming back to life. The door shut itself automatically. Let's go back to PID list. Now we're still in 4-wheel drive, okay? 4 high is still engaged. Go ahead and put her in drive. My foot's on the brake. Coming off the brake, and off the brake we have speed on all of our wheels. Let's graph it. Left front, right rear. So the rear is not giving us a signal. Okay, let's get back on the brakes. There's our ABS light. Let's put her in 2 high. I do not know if it shuts down ABS while in 4 low. It may disable the features. Rear wheels turning. There we go. All right, we're getting rear wheel speed out of her now. All right. We're turning again. Okay, yeah, we're getting actuation out of the rears now at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it back in park. So foot on the brake. Let's let her down, get it off the rack, and then go for a ride one more time. So we did see a difference there. These results are moderately inconclusive, but we did hypothesize that that sensor is the most likely cause of the issue. And we weren't able to observe wheel speed at that earlier moment. Now, I don't know if it's because it was in 4-wheel drive, but once we put it back in 2 high, we ended up getting wheel speed sensor actuation. So let's go drive it one more time. I think we got it, but I'd like to make sure. But first, let's lower the safety stand. You don't want to let your truck down with the stand in position. It doesn't work out very well. I saw that happen one time. I was at the dealership and the guys had a 3500 dually, brand new Duramax truck up on the lift. And the guy was gonna go let it down and he had forgotten about his jack stand in the back. Well, what had happened was somebody came up and started talking to him. So he's operating the lift, and at the same time he was letting it down but not looking at the lift. He was looking at the guy and he didn't notice. The truck started coming down on the single post lift in the back, and it wasn't like that 3-post, it was just a single post. So it bent that stand like a bow and arrow until it had, you know, enough squeeze to it, and then all of a sudden the truck came up off the lift, fell down backwards, and it shot that stand out across the shop about 100 miles an hour, and it went through and down and landed against the wall next to my stall. It was very violent and abrupt. Then the dealership guys came in, the talking heads. They closed all the doors, got all the customers away, and they hushed it, took the truck, brought it out to the body shop, fixed the panel damage that happened, put it on the alignment machine, found out there was no frame damage and there was no like body or like structural damage. It was just cosmetic from the thing hitting the lift arms, and they fixed it and never told the guy. True story. It was very bad, but at the same time, I mean, it was a brand new truck with, you know, a couple thousand miles on it. Like, it was there for its first service or whatever, and nobody was going to be happy about that. So we just we didn't say anything about it. Just kind of hush that one. We're not going to worry about that. You know, that's the thing about mechanic story time. You wouldn't believe the stuff that actually happens that nobody knows about. Anyway, truck coming down. I'm gonna go out for a quick ride one more time. Contact. Okie doke, back in the cabin. Now we have that ABS warning indicator, right? So let's see what the code said I'm sure it's going to say implausible wheel speeds detected because we had some wheels turning and other wheels not, and now there's no codes. So we have no codes and an ABS light. So it's not detecting faults at the time, but the light has been asked to turn on. Let's see what showed up in history. We should see, what? Left front wheel speed sensor circuit fault. Come on, you're killing me. That actually may be a false code right there, because if you recall when we had it in drive, the right front was 8 miles per hour and the left front nada. So the module is assuming that there's an issue with the circuit because it didn't expect to be in the air in drive with the wheels turning. That's what that's about. We still have that C055. I'm going to clear these out. That way there are no codes, and in doing so, I'm assuming that light right there is going to turn off. So clearing the code button, light turned off, code's cleared successfully. I'm going to shut it off just to make sure. Do a module restart, engine restart. ABS light is on with no codes. That's weird. Why did we do that? We still have no codes. Maybe there might be another module here asking for that light to show up. Hang on here. Let's try transmission real quick. I don't think this has the transfer case control module, but we can check that as well. I know this is the boring part, sorry. DTC info, no codes there. So why is the light on? I think I'm overthinking this. My Silverado did the same thing when my ABS light was on. So let's get it backed out and on the road. We're gonna pull up the ABS function and we're gonna watch those graphs again as we drive. If that light turns off as we start rolling, I think we'll have a winner. It's a triagnostic, I guess you could say, a hypothesis, an educated guess. I think we're good. Tight squeeze getting these big trucks around this corner. Looking good on that back corner. Front corner, we have a truck under a truck. That's good stuff. Ho, 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 ho. You see that? That was pretty close to that mirror. Do not break the mirror. There we go. Got it. Tight squeeze, isn't it, buddy? Saw that? Nanometers away. All right, let's get rolling up. There we go. Look, ABS just turned off. That means the module has recognized all of the wheel speed sensor circuits. So it saw we started moving and it said, nah, we're good. Everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So one more time, we're gonna take it out on the road. We're gonna watch the speedo. We're gonna watch the graphs in the ABS module. And if we don't see any faults, I'm gonna call this one good. I will give it back to the owners and they will report back if we hit a home run or I struck out. So let's get her up to speed out here. Rolling along, 13 miles per hour. And our graphical display is indicating a normal operation. I know you couldn't see that very well because of that light haze or whatever. Sorry. It's all looking right. It's all right. It's all very right. Speedometer is acting like it should be. I think we got a winner here, guys. So guys, let me know what you think about this this diagnostic slash triagnostic slash hypothesis of a diag to hammer down and narrow down rather an intermittent speed sensor fault, or speedometer fault rather. That's the symptom, not so much the cause, but the fault was in the symptoms in the speedometer. Anyway guys, I'm gonna start babbling on. So again, and as always, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section down below. Drop your opinions respectfully in said comment section. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button while you're down there. And most importantly, do not forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later in a video in a GMC Sierra Silverado end of speedometer hypothesis. Oh, it just did it! It just did it! Oh no, I just felt Oh, look, there it is. There it is. That's it. I just felt it. I felt the ABS pump going off, and we can see it on the graph. Unbelievable. Like, I was literally 2 seconds from the end of this video, and then it finally showed up. So I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I guessed and I threw a part and it was wrong. So back to the drawing board for me. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to delete all this footage and start all over again because we've got... What are you doing, guy? I guess I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm not going to start all over again like this didn't happen. I'm just going to post this as it is. This is real life, and this is what I do here. Let me know about this situation in the comment section down below, redoing the ending. See you guys in the next one in a day. For now, end of Sierra in a video.